Super Mario Odyssey introduced a lot of cool new things like Cappy, but how original is the game really? What is actually new in the game, and what parts have been seen in other games or were inspired by them? Well, let's find out. First, we're going to take a look at the enemies in the game, since some seemingly new ones have been seen in other games, or their abilities aren't really new. And no, I'm not talking about the new Goomba and Koopa varieties. Those are seen in almost every Mario game. However, there are some enemies that are extremely similar to older ones seen in previous games. For example, the Moai. They are based on the Moai statue heads and have a pair of feet, earrings, sunglasses, and a tuft of green hair. In the game, they can be captured and used to see hidden platforms. However, they have appeared in a Mario game before, a really old one. The game Super Mario Land, which was originally released as a launch title for the Game Boy in 1989. Now in that game, in the world of Easton Kingdom, we see multiple enemies that look a lot like the Moai. Like the Batadons, which are hopping stone heads, or the Toko Toko, which clearly are stone Moai heads. Now the first just flies around, and the other sprints towards you really fast. So when it comes to their tactics and use, they are not the same as the Moai seen in Odyssey. However, there's a boss in that game that looks even more like the Moai, He-Joy Hoi, the third boss in Super Mario Land. It looks a lot like a Toko Toko, except with legs. In fact, he evolved from one according to the game. So the Moai was already seen in another Mario game, but just a bit different and 2D. They added the all-seeing sunglasses ability to make it more useful to capture, because otherwise there wouldn't be a reason to do so. However, I'm quite sure that they got the idea of the design of the Moai from these old enemies from a bygone era. But this isn't the only enemy that was inspired by something from the older games. The same goes for the Gushins. Now, when captured, these fellas allow you to shoot water and use it to move around and even fly. Besides that, you can also use it to clean up areas if there is something that damages you, like lava. Now clearly, this enemy was inspired by FLUDD from Super Mario Sunshine. It gives you almost the exact same powers. And this actually makes quite a lot of sense. Development for Super Mario Odyssey began right after Super Mario 3D World was released in late 2013. Miyamoto sought more senior development and staff teams who had been involved in past 3D Mario titles in order to really go back to the roots of Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario 64. And this enemy is a clear sign of this strategy. They really went back to some of the core mechanics of Super Mario Sunshine and applied them to Super Mario Odyssey's kingdoms. Since you use the Gushins quite often in this level, and even in a boss fight, this is clearly Nintendo bringing back the old 3D Mario feel. And they even put the rocket nozzle in the game, because when you throw your cap at one of the flowers in Seaside Kingdom, it gives you insane speed. To be honest, a lot of things seen in Seaside Kingdom were inspired by Super Mario Sunshine, like the lava goop in the level. It's extremely similar to the stuff seen in Pianta Village. This is a world from Super Mario Sunshine, which was filled with lava paint in one of the episodes. Now for our last enemy that's very familiar, an Olmec head-like being with disembodied hands, similar to Irok from Super Mario 64. This is the boss of Shifting Sandland and resides in a central pyramid where it guards a power star. It slams down its fists and tries to punch the player off the platform. Now, the Olmec head seen in Odyssey has a similar tactic. However, he looks a million times more awesome because technology and graphics got better over time. And also the way to defeat him changed and became more fitting for the new mechanic in Super Mario Odyssey, the capturing. And like I mentioned before, they wanted to bring back that old 3D Mario feel. And this is another example of Nintendo doing that. What it also reminds me of is Bongo Bongo from The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Looking at the boss for 5 seconds, you can already see what I mean. Now besides these enemies, there are also some other things that Nintendo took from older games. A good example is Koopa Freerunning. This is a throwback to Koopa the Quick and Piantissimo from the old 3D Marios. Another one is the Jump Rope Challenge, which is similar to the Hot Rope Jump minigame from the first 2 Mario Party games. I bet that they took inspiration from a lot more older challenges and minigames from other Mario Party and 3D Mario games, gave them a visual upgrade, or added something to them and put them in the game. Even some things from Super Mario Galaxy make a return. For example, the music notes that form a path that you need to follow for a reward. As you collect the musical notes, you hear sounds, and all of them together form a song. A fun way of getting a moon. It's a bit like the Koroks in Breath of the Wild, a small challenge with a reward at the end. So for some of these mini-games and challenges, they looked at the older Mario and spin-off games and picked some fun ones to improve and put into Super Mario Odyssey. Now let's finish this video off by looking at the two most famous Super Mario Odyssey memes, the frog and the T-Rex. According to Kenta Motokura, the director of Super Mario Odyssey, the T-Rex's realistic design was influenced by Super Mario World, another game where Mario is alongside dinosaurs. The development team wanted to include a dinosaur never seen in a Mario game before, in hopes of surprising the player, causing the developers to steer away from the more cartoonish and caricatured dinosaur designs used in Super Mario World. So this one was also inspired by another Mario game, however this time a 2D one, and they wanted to do something new with it. In an interview with Game Informer, Shigeru Miyamoto likened Mario's ability to capture and control T-Rex in Super Mario Odyssey to riding Yoshi. This and the world of Dinosaur Land from Super Mario World most likely inspired the entire Cascade Kingdom, since it's very dinosaur themed. But what about the frog then? Well, we have seen a Frog Mario before, and that's most likely where they got this idea from. The Frog Suit. This is an item power-up which first debuted in Super Mario Bros. 3. It transforms Mario or Luigi into their frog form and grants them the power to jump higher, swim faster, resist water currents better, and hop while walking on the ground. Now, like I mentioned in another video, the capture ability replaces almost every power-up you can think of. And clearly they wanted the frog suit to return. So they put frogs in the game in order to make this possible. A really easy way of adding something fun to the level and to change the gameplay. Now Super Mario Odyssey looks amazing and it could even be my favorite Mario game of all time. So believe me, I like it. But clearly it draws inspiration from a lot of different Mario games and even takes some stuff from others and puts it straight into the game. Now, this isn't a bad thing at all. Almost everything on the planet was created this way. How do you think Disney came up with all those stories? They were originally folklore and urban legends. However, there are also a lot of new things Super Mario Odyssey does, but now we at least know what's really new and what's from the older games. Alright everyone, I'll be going to Comic-Con London this year, so if you're there, then let's meet up. The event is from the 27th to the 29th of October, and I'll be there for the entire event, so be sure to follow me on my social media to know where I am. Thanks for watching everybody, I hope you enjoyed. This voiceover was a pain, a real pain. I hate voiceovering with a passion, so I hope you at least enjoyed this video.